if we are having some uncertainties while doing the project, then there's no other way than going with the PERT. Okay, we have to go with the PERT. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Uh, so this is largely due to the fact that PERT models, the probabilistic nature of R&D. We use loss of probability here in the PERT. Okay, while CPM assumes sufficient past experiences exists to estimate relatively accurate activity duration. So when we are accurate enough to know the duration of the activities, it's better we go with the CPM, because like whenever we come across repetitive actions of activities, it's better we go with the CPM. If they are non-repetitive type, then we need to go with the PERT. Or else if we are new to the industry, then again we need to go with the PERT. Okay, if we are experienced enough, if we have very deterministic about the activities, then it's better we go with the CPM. If not, we should go with the PERT. So it's better we understand both the techniques, CPM and PERT. In relatively, even with an extensive experience-based construction operations, they do have some uncertainty in them. And whenever there is an uncertainty, we should go with the PERT. Okay. So PERT, it was generally again developed by US Navy during 1950s in the missile system development project, Polaris missile system project. And like because of the project which was delayed when they used CPM, they tried to, like the previous techniques, whatever they had, they used that, but there was a delay in that project about 50%. So 50% is 50% more time. In that case, they started using this PERT, which is probabilistic in nature. Okay, the program evaluation and review technique. It's event oriented. Please remember, PERT is event oriented, whereas CPM is activity oriented. PERT is an event oriented network analysis technique that is used to estimate the project's duration when individual activity duration estimates are highly uncertain. If we are not certain about estimating the duration of the activity, then we have to go with the PERT. This generally happens with the research and development type of a project. Another example of this research and development is nowadays many of the countries they are going with the research and development of vaccine to the COVID. Okay, that's R&D part. Here the activities are not repetitive. They are not repetitive. The project is only once. Okay, in that case, it's very uncertain. So they generally use PERT technique to have control as a time management there. Okay, PERT applies to CPM. So it's PERT and CPM, the calculation, the nature, how do we develop a network, both are same. Only thing is, in PERT we use weighted average. Okay, whereas in CPM it is not a weighted average. In CPM we use only one duration. In a PERT we will be, for each activity we will be using 3 durations there. We will let you know later. Okay, how PERT works is generally it is based on, as I told you, it's probabilistic in nature. It's probabilistic in nature, and the PERT generally works on this normal distribution function in the probability. Okay, so this is how, if we could look at this, this is a particular normal distribution curve for any activity to be conducted. There will be 3 times by which an activity can be completed. That is, I am representing it as T naught, then comes a Tm, and then comes a Tp. T naught is optimistic time, Tm is most likely time, and Tp is pessimistic time. Okay, this particular curve A is normal distribution curve, because this is symmetrical about the central line or the mean line. Whatever you have, this is a mean line, and the curve is symmetrical about this mean line. So this is a normal distribution curve. This is a beta distribution curve. The rest B and C, they are the beta distribution curve. Here the curve is not symmetrical. Instead, what happens to the mean is going to be here in this case. In case B, your mean is towards left of the expected time, and here in case C, your mean is right to the expected time. I have another term here, TE, expected time of the duration. So generally what we assume, again, see, there can be any type of a distribution for any activity, But what do we assume here is we assume normal distribution for the activities, and that particular uh, distribution is used in the calculations. Okay, so the three kinds of estimates what we may have to deal before we start with the PERT is uh, once first we need to take uncertainties into account, and PERT planners make three kinds of time estimates, that is optimistic time estimate, the pessimistic time estimate, and then most likely time estimate. They can be represented in this way. Optimistic, it can be represented as T naught or TA. Pessimistic, it may be TP or TB, and most likely time it can be represented as TL or TM. Okay, so what is the meaning of optimistic is I'm being like the term indicates optimistic. I'm very optimistic about how this activity is going to complete. While estimating the time, we are very optimistic. Like all conditions are normal here, all conditions are ideal. Rather than saying it as a normal, it's an ideal condition in which our activity is going to complete in a given allotted time. So that is optimistic time. All conditions are ideal here. Everyone is working properly. All your planning is going as per the plan. All your execution work is going as per the plan. That is optimistic. Okay. So in ideal condition, what is the duration for that particular activity? That is called as an optimistic time. Similarly, the second time is pessimistic time. This is the worst condition. What all could happen? What all could happen to activity so that the activity will delay as far as possible. That is the worst condition what we have to assume. That is pessimistic time. Okay, how much worst conditions we may come across is a pessimistic time. Please remember, while calculating pessimistic time, we don't include natural catastrophes or the acts of God, something like that. We don't include those things. Okay, they are not being included in a pessimistic time. We are dealing with only premises of the construction industry. So we include only premises of the construction industry there. So like there could be a strike, labor strike. We cannot include those things. They are not being used while estimating the time there. Okay, so for a given worst condition, how long the activity is going to take place, that is called as a pessimistic time. And then there comes a most likely time. This is a normal time. This is what the activity could take to complete, the time taken by activity to complete in a normal condition, just as we go the case. Just as we go the case, that is a most likely time estimate. So first we should decide about these three time estimates for any activity. Then if we have these three activities, then the expected time for an activity, that is TE, can be calculated using formula TA plus 4 times TM plus TB by 6. This is weighted average. So as far as optimistic time is considered, I am assigning weightage of 1. As far as most likely time estimate is considered, I am assigning weight 4, because this is the most likely time, the general time or in the normal time for which the activity could complete. So the chances of completing the activity in most likely time is more than the other two. So I'm giving the weightage of 4, and then one weightage is being given to pessimistic time. So it is 1 plus 4 plus 1, that is 6. So this is divided by 6. It's a weighted average. So after allotting these three times, we calculate, or we calculate the duration of the activity, and we call it as expected time. That is TE, and that is with this formula. Okay. So once we have this TE, we have to calculate the EOT and LOT. We all know how to calculate this TE and TL in the CPM. In the same way, we have to calculate TE and TL for each and every nodes there. Okay, so calculation of EOT and LOT are supposed to be done once we get the expected time. So this is about optimistic time, pessimistic time. I don't want to again go into this. I have told you what optimistic, pessimistic here is. Okay, and then most likely time. Optimistic is if everything went along perfectly with no problems or adverse effects, that is an optimistic time. The pessimistic time is like it does not include of course, these things are not being included here. but how much lately the activity can complete, that is the pessimistic time. And then most likely time, it's the normal condition as we go. In general case, that's the way. Okay, so let me go with one numerical how to calculate this expected time. So I'm going with this example. Let us take the example of estimating the expected time for the jobs or for the activities A and B. Activity A with T naught as 4, with TL as 6 and TP as 11. Okay, of course T naught will be lesser than TL. Okay, and TL will be lesser than TP. This is the order. Please keep it in mind. Similarly, job B has 5, 10, and 12, and is asking you to calculate the expected time for these jobs. And as far as our analysis in PERT is considered, our expected time is it's T naught plus 4 times TL plus TP divided by 6. So substitute the values here. So your job A is going to complete in 6.5 days. This is expected time of a job A. Again, it's expectation. Please remember, this is not deterministic. I am expecting here, so it's probabilistic. Okay. Similarly, expected time for activity B here is it's 5 plus 4 into 10 plus 12 by 6. That is 9.5 days. So next is scheduled completion time. In PERT network, decision is made regarding the completion time of the project, and accepted figure is called the scheduled completion time. Whatever after calculating our expected times for each and every activity, then the last LOT for the last event, whatever we get, that is nothing but the scheduled completion time. That is TS. Okay. The TL for the last event is nothing but the project duration, expected project duration or scheduled completion time of that particular project. That is TS. Then comes slack. Okay. Slack is the difference between the event times, denoting the range within which an event can vary. Simply mathematically, your slack can be represented as TL minus TE. TL and TE, we have already solved numericals on this in the last class. Okay, TL is it's LOT, TE is EOT, the latest occurrence time and the earliest occurrence time, and slack is the difference between them. And please remember, your slack can be positive, it can be 0, and it can be negative. When your slack happens to be positive, it means project is ahead of the schedule. When you have a slack as 0, it means project is going on as per schedule. If your slack is negative, then your project is behind the schedule. Okay. Event having least slack is a critical event. Event having least slack. So what all events where we come across the least slack, those events are called as critical events when your slack is least one, because it can be negative also. Slack means more time to, whenever it's slack is in the sense delay, something delay where we can delay my activity. That is a measurement of slack. How much I can delay my activity. That is a slack. It's a difference between TL minus TE. See how much I can delay my activity provided I am not affecting my project duration. That is called as a slack. Please remember this. Next is central limit theorem. I don't want to discuss about these things. Those who have the background of the statistics, you may understand these things. First, with a known all my activities and with the known all the TO, TM and TP of all the activities, we can calculate the expected mean time of the project. It's after calculating mean time for every activity, is sum of all the projects along the critical path will give me expected mean time of the project. Similarly, variance of the project is equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3 along the critical path. Okay, and then standard deviation of the project is under the root VT. That can also be represented as under the root of delta 1 square plus delta 2 square up to delta n. In the numerical, you will understand how to calculate this. I don't want to explain you what is the meaning of mean, the variance, and the standard deviation. You should have the basic of that, or otherwise it takes me again a long time to explain those things. Now, how to calculate this mean time of an activity, expected mean time of an activity? TE is, as I discussed, it's TA plus 4TM plus TB by 6. Okay, then standard deviation, please note down this formula. Mean time of an activity, TE is TA plus 4TM plus TB by 6. Then standard deviation of an activity, it's TB minus TA by 6. TB is nothing but TP, TA is nothing but T naught in my other representation. Okay, TB minus TA by 6, and then variance of an activity, it is nothing but the square of the standard deviation. So TB minus TA by 6 raised to 2. TB minus TA by 6 raised to 2. Variance of an activity. Once we calculate all these for the activities, I need to know what are my critical activities. Then I should go with the further calculations. This you may understand when I basically take one numerical there. Okay, next, probability of completion of the project. As I told you, we assume the normal distribution for the ease with which, because for normal distribution, the data will be available readily to us in the books. Okay, so that's why we assume normal distribution curve for the variations of these activity times for that particular project. When it is a normal distribution, it means as far as to the mean of the time is considered, your curve is going to be symmetrical. It is peak at the minimum value, and your schedule time can be anywhere between towards left or towards right of this peak at the mean value. And if your activities are following normal distribution, then the probability of completing this can be shown with the equation. This is an equation for probability when your chances of occurrence of those activities are following this normal distribution. Okay, you may not worry about this, that is not required, but I'm just telling you we have this mathematical way of expressing the equations whatever we get in the textbook. In textbook they directly give you the equation, but they don't say how is it being taken. Okay, so I'm just considering I just want to know you people that there's always some mathematical way to have some expressions. So you need to remember this: Z is equals to x minus mu t by sigma t. Z is equals to x minus mu t by sigma t. This, if we could take this, then the same equation can be simplified as this. Okay, whereas that particular Z is called as a probability factor. I'll go to this expression. Please note down the expression for Z. You need not take down this equation for P here, these two equations, not necessary. You just note down the expression for Z. Z is equals to x minus mu t by sigma t. Now, this Z is called as probability factor. That is called as probability factor, and percentage probability can be directly taken from the table corresponding to normal deviate corresponding to this particular value of the Z. Okay, Z can be positive in the case your percentage completion of time of an activity or your project is more than 50%. If Z is negative, then percentage completion of the particular project is lesser than 50% chance. If your Z is 0, then you have 50-50 chance for that particular project to be completed in time. Okay, with the link, I think I have attached this this particular table. I have given you this particular table here. Okay, this is called as normal distribution function table. For the values of Z, you have the percentage of probability. Okay, you need to use this table while solving the numerical. So with this background, where you might have noted down few of the expressions Basically, these three equations are very important now. Yeah. First, these three equations, equation for expected mean time of an activity, then standard deviation of an activity, then variance of an activity, and then comes equation for this Z. So those three plus this equation, and then this table is required to proceed with the numericals there. So we'll go with the numerical. Please note down the numerical. Then I will draw the chart for that. For a given PERT network, determine first one, expected time for a given PERT network, determine expected time, comma, standard deviation, expected time, comma, standard deviation and variance of the project, expected time, standard deviation and variance of the project, and show the critical path also. Second one, determine the probability of completion of project. Second one, determine the probability of completion of project in 35 days. Determine the probability of completion of project in 35 days. Third one, determine the time duration. Determine the time duration that will provide. Determine the time duration that will provide 90% probability of. That will provide 90% probability of its completion. Determine the time duration that will provide 90% probability of its completion in time. Full stop. Continue the problem. The three time estimates of each activity. The three time estimates of each activity are mentioned on the network. So you have a network here. Please note on the sketch. Okay, so first what do we do is we calculate the expected time for all the activities. So what we do is first expected mean time for all the activities. That we know that expected mean time for all the activities is nothing but, see, when I have three numbers on the arrow, it means these are my three time estimates. Okay, they are in the order of optimistic time, most likely time, and then pessimistic time. Okay, I need not say that this is optimistic, this is most likely, and then this is pessimistic. We need not say that. That is understood. If we have three times, then the least one is your optimistic time, the middle one is your most likely time, and the higher one is your pessimistic time. Okay, then for each activity I have to calculate the expected mean time. For that we know the formula for expected mean time as it's T naught plus 4 times Tm plus Tp divided by 6. Okay, so use this formula. Now I will mention TE for each activity under the arrow here. Okay, so can anyone give me the TE for the activity 1, 2? ಎರಡು 20 30. So T is here. For activity 1 to 2, your T is, it's 2.
5, sir.
Okay, so T is 5. Now for 2 to 3 activity, your T is, please calculate the values.
Ten, sir.
10. Okay. For 2 to 4, T is, for 2 to 4, TE is
8, sir.
8. Next for 2 to 5, TE is
12.
12. Next for 3 to 6, 3E is
8, sir.
8. Okay. Next for 4 to 6, TE is
10.
7.
10.
10. Okay. Next for 5 to 7,
6.
for 6. Okay. For 6 to 7, for 6 to 7,
4, sir.
4. Okay. For 7 to 8,
4.
So 7 to 8 it is 4. Okay. So these are your activity times now. What all T you have, these are your activity times. Then again, what we have to do is we have to calculate T and TL. So this is my legend. First value is T and second value is TL. Okay. So we will draw the boxes on each and every node there. First we will calculate all the TE values. For event 1 it is 0. Okay. For event 2 it is 0 plus 5. For event 3 it is 5 plus 10. Then for event 4 it is 5 plus 8. I think I have made a mistake here. It is 5 plus 10. Okay, yeah, this is 15. Next for event 4 it is 5 plus 8, that is 13. Okay, next for this event 5 it is 5 plus 12. 5 plus 12, 7. Okay, there are two roots here. So I'm supposed to mention it as 17 from one root, and from this root it is 13 plus 0, 13. Therefore, maximum is 17. I have to adopt 17. Okay. Next is, if I could get this, yeah. Okay. For the sixth event, it's 15 plus 8, 23. There are again different roots here. And from this root, it is 13 plus 10, again 23. So both are same. I'm going to adopt 23 here. Okay. And when it comes to this event, it is 17 plus 6. So it's 23. 17 plus 6 is 23. And from this root, it is 23 plus 4. It's 27. So I am supposed to adopt 27 as my T for event 7, and for event 8 it will be 27 plus 4, 31. Okay, so 31 is your expected mean time. See, in CPM this was your project duration, but here it is your expected mean time for the complete project. I'm not talking of the individual activities now. This is the expected mean time for the complete project, 31 days. Okay, and I'm supposed to calculate the TL, and for the last event, I should start from 31 here. Okay, and I have to go with the backward path to calculate the TL values. So 31 minus 4, 27 here, and then here, as far as this event 6 is considered, it's 27 minus 4, 23. 27 minus 4, 23. Now, as far as event 3 is considered, 23 minus 8. 23 minus 8 is 15. 23 minus 8 is 15.
Excuse
15
me, sir.
minus, yes.
The bottom of the board can't. Okay.
Then 15 minus 10 is 5. I cannot adopt this root directly. I'm supposed to calculate the answers from the other roots also. Next, when it comes to here, it's 23 minus 10, 13. Again, there are different roots here. Next, as far as this is considered, it's 27 minus 6, so 21. Next, 21 minus 0, this is a dummy activity, so 21. The least is 13, so I'm going to adopt 13 here. Okay, and then coming to this, I had different roots. It's 15 minus 10, 5. Next, 13 minus 8, 5. From here, it's 21 minus 12. So I think something around 9. The least is 5 here. So I'm supposed to adopt 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay. So what are my critical activities? Before that, I should also calculate the slack for each event. Okay, slack is equals to, it's TL minus TE. Slack is equals to, it's TL minus TE for each event. So for my event 1, your slack is 0. For event 2, slack is 0. Okay. For event 3, slack is 0. For event 4, slack is 0. For event 5, your slack is 4 here. It's 21 minus 17, 4. Next, similarly, for event 6, slack is 0. For event 7, slack is 0. For last event again, your slack is 0. Yeah, too many things written on the board because I can use only 40% of the board, but you can draw these sketches so that the sketch belongs to the total page. Then you can note down these things very separately and clearly. Okay, while going with this network diagram, try to draw the network diagram to the complete page. Use the complete page to show the network diagram so that it won't look clumsy. Right. Next, I am supposed to draw my critical path. So what are my critical activities here? How about this? Of course, it starts from 1 to 2. It starts from 1 to 2. Okay, I am supposed to join. See, to mark the critical events, I should look at those events which are where your T is equals to TL, or when slack is equals to 0. I'm supposed to look at those events where slack is equals to 0. I'm supposed to connect those events where slack is 0. So 1 to 2. Next, can I go with 2 to 5? My 2 to 5 is not the critical event. 5 is having slack 4. There's a slackness there. Okay, but it can be from 2 to it can be from 2 to 4. Slack is 0. From 4 to 5, I cannot go. Okay, there is a dummy activity, but I cannot go as a critical activity from 4 to 5 because here again, event 5 has slackness. And directly, I think I can go to 4 to 6. Event 6 is critical. Then from 6 to 7. Okay, then from 7 to 8. Right? Is it the only available critical path in the network diagram here? Is it the only available network diagram? We have what we have.
No, sir.
Yeah. We also have now, as I told you previously, just before in the start of the class, there can be any number of critical paths. Now, this is an example here. Okay, this is one critical path what I could get. At the same time, my critical path can also be from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, because even 3 has slackness 0, then 3 to 6, okay, then 6 to 7, 7 to 8. So there are 2 critical paths. Okay, please mention it. Mention critical path 1. mention critical path 1 as 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8. Then critical path 2, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8. So it's already 11:20. Okay. So I'll stop this numerical. I'll continue this numerical in the next class. Please give your attendance. Those who are eligible, give your attendance in the chat box. Quick, make it quick. Further calculations we'll discuss in the next class. See, meanwhile, I think I have attached the normal distribution table there. Please download that attachment in the link. I have attached the normal distribution table. Please download it. If possible, take a printout of that normal distribution table that is required for the next class.